What is going on, Trash Talkers? We're back with another episode for you. In today's video, we're going to give you our Week 6 predictions for every game in the NFL. All that and much more coming your way right now! Hey Trash Talkers, over 85% of you are still not subscribed to the channel. Please be sure to hit that red subscribe button and turn on notifications, as it will help us create more daily content for you. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Alright Nick, week 6 is upon us and we have some really great football games. 4 teams on a bye week, the first installment of bye weeks for the 2021 NFL season, but we get kicked off with a banger on Thursday Night Football, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Philadelphia Eagles. Who do you got in this one?
Yeah, this is a pretty straightforward matchup. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are absolutely rolling right now. The Philadelphia Eagles, hey, they're finding ways to stick into these games, but I believe the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are just way too far ahead of where the Philadelphia Eagles are right now. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to have a smooth, easy ride to victory on Thursday night.
I like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as well. Moving on to our first game, another London game, 2 weeks in a row. Wow, they are getting the shit end of the stick. The Dolphins at the Jaguars. That is who the London fans get. After a week of getting the Jets and Falcons, they get the Dolphins and the Jaguars. Now, when it's all said and done, the Jacksonville Jaguars are one of only 2 winless teams, and I think that they're going to stay that way. With everything that's been going on with Urban Meyer, all the questions that are surrounding this franchise, his state, Trevor Lawrence not understanding or not even wanting Urban Meyer to be part of the organization, there's been a lot of turmoil. You can't win under those circumstances. So for as bad as the Miami Dolphins have been in the absence of Tua Tagovailoa, I believe that the defense is going to get right in this one, and I believe that Jacoby Brissett will be able to bring them a victory.
In our next matchup, we have the Cincinnati Bengals playing at the Detroit Lions. Not a very exciting matchup, but I believe the Cincinnati Bengals are a much improved team that is for real. I believe that they're going to have a very solid outing against the Detroit Lions, who are just suffering from injuries and bad play. It's not a good season for the Detroit Lions. They're another team hanging in there, but it's not working out for them in the end. I believe that this is not going to be the same case. Cincinnati Bengals are going to have a very easy ride. I think that they are going to prove just how good they are by having a very big win over the Detroit Lions on Sunday.
In our next 1 o'clock matchup, we have the Green Bay Packers, who narrowly escaped the Cincinnati Bengals because Mason Crosby couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. And then you have them facing off against the red-hot Chicago Bears. Yeah, Justin Fields has led them to 2 straight victories. They're now sitting 3-2 on the season, which is 1 more win over the Kansas City Chiefs, which is just fun to say at this point. But nonetheless, the Chicago Bears are 3-2, and they provide a different sort of challenge. This is a divisional game, and Justin Fields doesn't have a lot of tape on him, so he can kind of run the offense in a way that Green Bay's not used to. I think it's going to be a closer game than people realize, but I do have Green Bay on top in this one.
In our next matchup, we have another divisional game. The Houston Texans facing off against the Indianapolis Colts. This is Davis Mills' first game against a divisional opponent. Frank Reich gets to break this guy in and give him a taste of what it feels like to play against the Indianapolis Colts. I don't think it's going to be another big day for Davis Mills. I think that his career day happened against the New England Patriots, and it's going to be a very big win for the Colts. The Colts are playing really solid right now. They had a tough loss against the Baltimore Ravens, but if it weren't for some kicker troubles, I believe that they would have been on the winning side of football. I believe the Colts are getting better week over week. They're improving. The defense has to be a little bit more solid throughout the game, but they should have a very easy time against the Houston Texans, who are reeling at each one of their positions.
You know whose defense has gotten worse over time? The Washington football team. In our next matchup, we see the Kansas City Chiefs come to town in Washington, D.C. to take on the football team. And this is not going to be a pretty game. The Chiefs are coming off of multiple losses this season where they have just been battered around and they just don't look like the team that was in the Super Bowl the last couple of years. And I think this is the time for Eric Bieniemy and Andy Reid to get the ship righted. Patrick Mahomes is going to have one of his patented Patrick Mahomes days. Tyreek Hill, he's going to dust off his knee and he'll be fine. I expect Kelsey and Hill to have really big days. This Washington defense is not as potent as I thought they would be, especially on the back end. William Jackson has reverted back to his old ways, not looking like the guy who got the big contract coming out of Cincy last year. I think there's a lot of opportunity to exploit this defense, and I think Kansas City's going to take full advantage.
In our next matchup, we have possibly the game of the week, the Los Angeles Chargers facing off against the Baltimore Ravens. Both of these offenses had over 500 yards apiece in week 5. I believe that this is a very possible case again in week 6 for both teams. The Chargers defense and the Ravens defense are not playing great, and they're giving up chunk yardage and big play. I think that this is going to be a big game for both Justin Herbert and Lamar Jackson. It's really going to come down to the last couple drives of the game, but I believe that Brandon Staley knows how to stop Lamar Jackson. He knows how to stop this style of quarterback, and he's going to have something in special for him. I believe that Justin Herbert's going to continue on this MVP pace, and he's going to prove just why the Chargers are one of the toughest teams to face right now in the AFC.
A lot of great football being played in and around LA County as the Rams hit the road, take on the New York Giants, and they're not going to need to be great in this one as Kenny Golladay is injured, Daniel Jones concussed, Saquon Barkley made of glass and also broken now, and the rest of the offense is just in shambles. If you have to face off against Mike Glennon, yeah, good luck. Aaron Donald's going to eat and maybe get 7,000 sacks. Yeah, so at the end of the day, the Rams just have to not get injured in MetLife Stadium, which seems to be a struggle for opposing teams, but nonetheless, the Rams are going to walk out of this one with a very easy victory.
Next up, we have the Minnesota Vikings versus the Carolina Panthers. This should be a very solid game, very fun game to watch. I think it's going to come down to who has the better defense in this one. When you look at the offenses, Kirk Cousins and Sam Darnold are putting up very similar numbers. They've got big weapons to throw to and great running backs behind them. On the defensive side of the ball, this is where it gets a little bit iffy. The Panthers have been suffering from some injuries, and that's held them back. We'll see if CJ Henderson can make a bigger presence of himself in his third week with the Carolina Panthers, but that's yet to be seen. The Carolina Panthers front seven is really going to have to carry the load. And then for the Minnesota Vikings, it's going to come down to their front seven as well, as their secondary hasn't been injured, but they're just not playing that great. And I think at the end of the day, the Minnesota Vikings are the stronger team all around. Mike Zimmer is playing well against big teams, and the Panthers are one of those big teams. The Minnesota Vikings get a very big win in week 6.
In arguably the best matchup that we have all weekend long, we have the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Cleveland Browns, and these are two very high upside football teams that made a lot of roster changes over the course of the offseason. They've proved to be well worth it so far. Both top 5, top 10 teams in the NFL. And taking a look at where the Cleveland Browns were, they were able to put up 42 points last week. Problem is they gave up 49, so this defense has to get righted. On top of the fact that Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, and this offense are coming to town, it's going to be a struggle for the defense to really hone in and keep these guys situated. I believe that the Cardinals defense is going to have a better time against Baker Mayfield and company than the other way around, so I have the Arizona Cardinals slightly edging out the Cleveland Browns at home.
Next up in America's Game of the Week, we have the Dallas Cowboys facing off against the New England Patriots. I just don't know if this game is really going to live up to expectations. Mac Jones having a solid season, but the offensive output for the Patriots is lackluster, and the Cowboys' defense looking really solid. I like what Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott are doing right now on the offense. Mike McCarthy has started to figure it out. And I think that the Dallas Cowboys overall are a better team than the New England Patriots right now. It should be a very smooth, easy victory for the Dallas Cowboys on the road.
Yeah, you're talking about lackluster, but that's what comes to mind when I think about the Las Vegas Raiders. They're in shambles right now with everything going on with John Gruden, him resigning in disgrace when it came to all the emails that were released. If you want to know more about that, check out our video. We covered it from top to bottom, everything that you need to know, so go check that out. But when it comes to the Las Vegas Raiders, they have gone through so much internal commotion that I don't believe that they have the football acuity right now to take on a team like the Denver Broncos, another divisional opponent that they're going to see. The Denver Broncos, they struggled last week, but they had been good all the way up until that point. I like what the Denver Broncos have had. The Las Vegas Raiders are reeling. The Denver Broncos are going to take full advantage in this one. I expect them to win by a big margin.
For our Sunday night matchup, we have a boring one. The Seattle Seahawks versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. On paper, it doesn't look as bad as it will on the field, but the Seattle offense, it's TBD with Geno Smith under center. Who knows what you're really getting out of this guy? He's almost like Jameis Winston, but just worse. And I think that DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett are going to suffer from it. It's really going to be on Chris Carson to really set the tempo for this offense. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that against Pittsburgh's defense with TJ Watt back. The Pittsburgh offense, they're down Juju for the rest of the year, but Chase Claypool and Deontay Johnson are there. Najee might be there as well. We have to watch him as he progresses through the week, but nonetheless, the Pittsburgh Steelers look like the much stronger team. With Russell Wilson out, it should be a very easy victory for them, especially as their home team.
And as our final matchup with Monday Night Football, we have the Buffalo Bills coming to town to take on the Tennessee Titans in what should be a very interesting game. Mike Vrabel going against the Buffalo Bills, not something he's all that used to anymore, but nonetheless, the Buffalo Bills are arguably the best team in football. The Tennessee Titans have been dealing with mass amounts of injuries, especially to their wide receiving core. A.J. Brown, Julio Jones, not fully 100%. Derrick Henry has been carrying the load, but if there's a team that can take away Derrick Henry, I believe it's the Buffalo Bills. So I think that Ryan Tannehill is going to have to beat the Buffalo Bills with a lack of weapons, or at least injured weapons, and I don't see that happening. So I have the Buffalo Bills coming out on top in this one. I think Josh Allen's going to light up the skies as he normally does now, and overall, the Buffalo Bills are just a much better team. This is going to be sort of a snooze fest on Monday Night Football. Overall, the Buffalo Bills will come out on top.
Yeah, this is a very straightforward matchup. The Buffalo Bills being such a high-powered offense and the Tennessee Titans down so many of their stars on defense. You know the Buffalo Bills are going to put up close to 40 points, and there's no possible way that this Titans offense can come close to that. It should be a very easy matchup for the Bills. They are going to show, again, why they are the best team in the NFL right now.
All right, well, I want to hear from you guys. Let us know which picks you think we got right, which picks you think we got wrong. I want to hear you guys down in the comments below. All right, well, that's going to be all for now. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell. We go live every single day. That'll be all. Peace and love.